Austin's your home. You just don't have a house. It should be unhousedness, or some other word like that. Which I would define as the state of not possessing a house. My home is the city of Austin. Yes, I live in an apartment with someone. That's my house. That's not necessarily my home. My home is here. It's wherever I go in Austin. This is home for me. And I think a lot of people would share that perspective. My life expectancy based on all my circumstances was 18. I'm now 21, turning 22 in January. I've certainly beat that statistic. Yes, the first time was when I was like 16, I would say. We got evicted from, no, I think it was 14 actually. We got evicted. We had to move in with our next door neighbor. And that went about as well as you could expect. They threw away my baby pictures and everything like that. It was great. You should have been there. And then the second time was when I was 16. Those were like my second or third times. Mom was just super addicted to Valium and super addicted to Xanax, and then I found out that she's hooked on heroin. So that really contributed to, her stealing my money when I was working, and my Social Security survivor benefits from my dad, who passed away when I was 5. She stole money constantly to feed her drug habit. So of course we got evicted numerous times over. I had a really unstable life. 14 to 19, I would say, was when things were just totally unstable.
Probably bought you the last name. That's where I used to live. Rent was $600 a month. All bills paid. It was very affordable.
The last 2 times were when I was an adult. My first time was when I just first moved out. 4 days after I turned 18, I was lucky to get into a LifeWorks facility and their transitional living program, which has now since been discontinued. But I stayed there for 18 months to try to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
Until about 6 a.m. when Downtown Alliance comes to clean it all.
People who are housed think of unhoused people as basically lazy bums. I don't know how else to describe it. And they see the people who are out in like downtown Austin who have all these psychological conditions. They don't ever sit down and take a minute to consider like the whole revolving door thing, the whole multifaceted issue. They don't ever consider that. They see that and they say, well, why can't they get a job and get housed? Well, there's all these barriers that nobody really thinks about, that everyone takes for granted.
A lot of talk this week about the right way to clear out and clean up homeless camps.
This needs to be done the right way.
We've told you the state of Texas is now sending state agencies to clear homeless camps in Austin to, quote, make Austin safer and cleaner for residents and visitors to live, travel, and conduct business. It's happening at the same time the city is doing a camp cleanup surge, which will last 3 weeks.
Just a day shy from presenting the city's budget, the interim city manager, Jesus Garza, says the homeless issue must be addressed.
We haven't decreased the amount of people experiencing homelessness. In fact, it's increased.
Homeless Strategy Officer Diana Gray briefed council on shelter capacity in Austin.
In May of this year, we had 880 active beds.
The city owns 38% of those shelter beds. The rest are run by nonprofit partners. According to Gray's data, Austin has 1 shelter bed for every 5 people experiencing homelessness.
A new report digs into Austin's homeless crisis, revealing what's working and where the city is falling short. The report by the Ending Community Homelessness Coalition, or ECHO, shows people are finding housing faster, but the process can still take nearly a year. KVU's Isabella Basco is live in downtown Austin. And Isabella, tell us what city leaders are saying about the path forward.
Well, Mark, city and county leaders acknowledge that they've taken great strides when it comes to tackling homelessness, but they still say the work is far from over.
we're so focused on solving symptoms that we're not focused on the whole person. People who are out on the street right now have been broken by the system so many times that they don't trust it anymore. I wouldn't trust it anymore if I was in that same circumstance. Yeah, I mean, I get why there's a stigma, but it's not necessarily their fault, I would say. And a lot of them have tried. But when you have this steep of a mountain climb and basically little to no help, what are you supposed to do? Some of us just need a leg up, not a handout. I mean, for me, I was in transitional housing for 18 months. That was not a handout. That was a leg up. I mean, 4 or 5 years later, I'm a success story. I love Austin, but the system is broken. How do I kind of reconcile that with Austin? Austin as a city is very different from our system. Our system is just that. It's a system. And it's the people, and it's some of the people that are in it that are the bad apples that are keeping it from progressing. That's not the entirety of Austin. Our community is very, very different from our system. If you can't learn how to separate the two, you can't do this work. The city of Austin, and I'm not talking about the government, I'm talking about the people, is an entirely different institution than from the Austin-Travis County homelessness response system. You constantly see people still on the street. That's what keeps motivating me. And also what keeps motivating me is my own lived expertise of homelessness and, trying to help other people avoid having to be homeless 6 times like I have. That's what keeps motivating me to continue this work.